very good morning and welcome to Good Morning Core City right here on 106.9 FM, going the radio, the heartbeat of dialogue. And of course, it's a very beautiful Friday morning, the 19th day of June 2026. And as we always do it every morning, I'm in the studio this morning with a pretty lady with a golden voice, Esther, in the house. Esther, how are you doing this beautiful Friday morning?
I'm doing good. I'm just here being grateful that it's Friday. So yeah, thank God it's Friday. I'm excited for the new day. Yeah.
All right, thank God it's Friday, and of course, we are all excited for a beautiful day. And you know, as we do it every morning in Good Morning Coast, the first of all, we sincerely apologize for not bringing Good Morning Coast your way yesterday.
Yeah.
It was due to a couple of technical challenges, but
That's
right now,
right.
today we are here with you, and of course, helping you navigate through the beauty of the day. Remember, you can join us live. All right, we can join us live right now, but you can watch a full recap of the show, especially the excerpts from Esther's morning motivation on YouTube at GOU Radio 1069 FM, as well as on Facebook and Instagram at 1069 Go in the radio. Esther is going to tell us how we're going to feel this morning, and then we check out what the weather has for us this beautiful morning, and then we go on a short musical break. When we come back, we look through our top stories for today. But meanwhile, Esther is ready itching to tell us how we are supposed to feel this beautiful Friday morning. Esther?
All right. Good morning once again, Cold City, and happy Friday, the 19th of June 2026. And just like that, we've arrived at Friday. Another week is drawing to a close. And so before you start thinking about the weekend, I want you to take a moment and appreciate yourself, okay? I mean, talking about you. Yeah, you. Sometimes we're so focused on what we haven't achieved that we forget to acknowledge what we've survived. This week may have tested you. There may have been moments when you felt really tired, moments when you questioned yourself, moments when the bills, the responsibilities, the uncertainty, and the pressures of life felt heavier than usual. You're still here though. You're still here today. You're still standing. You're still believing. You're still trying, and that matters. This morning, please don't measure your worth only by your results. You're gonna be doing yourself a lot of wrong if you do that. It is important you measure your worth by your resilience, by your willingness to keep going, by your refusal to quit, because some victories don't look like trophies. Some victories do not have to look like trophies sometimes. Some victories just look like getting up every morning and facing life with courage. And as we prepare to enter the weekend, I want to challenge you to do something many people forget to do. To reflect. I want you to reflect. It's the weekend after all. Ask yourself, what did this week teach me? Where did I grow? What can I do better next week? Because every week leaves behind a lesson for those who are willing to learn. Yes, and it's important for you to always learn or desire to learn. Now, while you're reflecting, don't forget to rest. Not just physically. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The world is moving fast, right? Life can feel demanding every day, but even the strongest people need moments to recharge. So this weekend, spend time with people who bring you peace and clarity. Spend time with God. Spend time with your thoughts. Read something that helps you grow. Do something that reminds you that life is more than survival. And if you've been carrying worries about the future, let this week be a reminder that the challenges of today are real, but they are not permanent, okay? Keep building, keep preparing, keep growing, and keep believing, because your story is still being written. And as you move through today, hold on to this truth that I always say. You can do anything you put your mind to, as long as you stay willing to learn, to focus, to be disciplined, and to be patient. Now, from my heart to yours and also from Chike, we're wishing you a productive Friday, a restful weekend, and a heart full of gratitude for how far you've come. Good morning, Cold City. You've made it through another week. Finish strong, rest well, and never stop believing in what's possible.
Of course, never stop believing in what's possible. Finish well and rest strong. Thank you so much, Esther, for that beautiful piece. Of course, it's always a beautiful piece coming from you. All right, this is the Good Morning Core City right here on 106.9 FM Go University Radio. Remember, all we need you to do is whenever you see a video or excerpts from this, drop a comment. We want to know what you think, and we want to feel your opinion as well. All right, up next is the comprehensive weather report, and Esther is ready with how the weather will look like today.
That's right. As usual, we'll be starting with Lagos. Today, Lagos starts humid and cloudy with brief sunny intervals. Temperatures rise from 24 degrees Celsius, and by afternoon, warm and humid. It will become warm and humid with increasing cloud cover. Isolated thunderstorms and showers may develop with a high of 31 degrees Celsius. In the evening, mostly cloudy. It's become mostly cloudy with chances of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures fall gradually to 26 degrees. Now, if you're in Lagos, just make sure you stay hydrated throughout the day because high humidity can increase fatigue and discomfort even when temperatures are moderate. Moving on to Ibadan. This morning, Ibadan is cloudy with occasional, so we have an occasional sunshine today. It will have a cold start at about 23 degrees. And by afternoon, warm conditions with scattered showers are possible. And there's also a probability of thunderstorms with a high of 31 degrees Celsius. In the evening, mostly cloudy. We'll be having mostly cloudy skies with lingering chances of rain. Temperatures will settle around 25 degrees. If you are in Ibadan, make sure you carry an umbrella or raincoat if you're heading out. Moving on to Port Harcourt this morning. Port Harcourt is cloudy and damp with light showers in some areas. Temperatures is around 24 degrees this morning, and by afternoon, rain and thunderstorms are expected across much of the city. There's supposed to be a high of 29 degrees, and in the evening there will be continued cloudy conditions with occasional rainfall. Temperature will stay around 25 degrees. If you're in Port Harcourt, it's going to be quite a damp day, a wet day, so avoid walking through full of water where possible and ensure drinking water is properly covered to prevent contamination during heavy rains. Moving on to Kano. This morning, Kano starts partly cloudy with plenty sunshine intervals later during the morning. Temperature starts at 24 degrees. By afternoon, it will become hot and mostly sunny with isolated thunderstorms possible later. In the afternoon, they'll be experiencing a high temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, and in the evening, it's become partly cloudy and warm, cooling to about 28 degrees. Please, if you know someone or a relative or a friend in Kano, if you're there, it is important you limit prolonged exposure to the afternoon sun and, of course, drink water regularly to reduce the risk of dehydration and heat exhaustion. Moving on to Abuja. This morning, Abuja is seeing a mix of clouds and sunshine with pleasant temperatures from 22 degrees Celsius. By afternoon, cloud cover will be increasing with possible thunderstorms developing later in the day. They'll be experiencing a high of 31 degrees Celsius, and in the evening it will become cloudy with chances of showers and thunderstorms. Now finally here at home in Enugu, here it's mostly cloudy, and we're having few intervals of sunshine this morning, but they're expected to be light showers in some parts of the city. Temperature begins around 23 degrees this morning. By afternoon, it will stay warm and cloudy with scattered rainfall and possible thunderstorms. So by afternoon, we'll be experiencing a high of 32 degrees Celsius. In the evening, it will become cloudy with occasional showers and a cooler atmosphere. Temperatures fall to about 24 degrees. And that is your comprehensive weather report for today.
Alright, thank you so much, Esther, for that one. Of course, we get to know how today is going to look like. It almost rained last night, and then I was actually praying for the rain.
I was waiting in anticipation.
You're not going to rain.
It was really sad. But then I thank God for, at least we felt that the evening it was actually quite, what's the word? It was quite powerful in some areas.
Yeah, so and it was the breeze, of course, and it made the night sleep quite cool, right?
That's right.
All right, this is the Good Morning course. Today we're gonna go on a short musical break with this one, Brotherly by Timmy Dakulo, and afterwards we're gonna come back and we'll look through our top stories for today. Don't touch the dial. This is the place to be, and of course, keep having a fabulous day. Already, you're supposed to start having a fabulous day.
Should be having a fabulous day. I mean, you've got us here,
right?
To accompany you.
Okay, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This is 106.9 Go Uni Radio, real station.
Brotherly, me and you na family. Anything we bother you, go bother me. If you need help, make you call on me. Cause we be brotherly. Me and you na brotherly. Brother, I know what you're going through. I understand as a man you get plan and you won't do many things for those around you. You try and you try, but the pressure, they drown you. You feel bad when you not follow through. All of the aspirations and the dreams will not come through. Such is the life of a man. You carry all this burden and it's killing you inside. You get company, my brother. You know if you do this life on your own. You get friends and G's, my brother. I no go let you run, I'm alone. Cause you be brotherly. Me and you now family. Anything will bother you, go bother me. If you need help, make you call on me. Cause we be brotherly. Me and you now. Me and you now brotherly. What we share is a brotherly. Small clash we don't come. Everybody wants some emotional blackmail. Hold you for ransom. No answer, you pompous. You answer now onslaught of everybody problem. Which one you want some? Family they call you, say make you function. Nobody they ask you whether you don't drop. If you say you no get money, some of them no go believe. Now the things we they see, now the life we they live. They say we got be strong, but the pain is much. They say man no they cry, but we cry a lot. Sometimes the tears not to shake it. Sometimes the tears not to just look up. You get company, my brother. You know if we do this life on your own. You get friends and G's, my brother. I no go let you run, I'm alone. Oh, you be brotherly. And me and you now family. Anything will bother you, go bother me. If I do well, make you clap for me. You see, you be brotherly. This the way we stand up brotherly. Me and you now brotherly. Cause we be brotherly.
This is 1069 Go Uni Radio, real station.
Alright, welcome back. This is the Good Morning Course. It's right here on 106.9 FM, Godfrey Okoye University Radio, the place to be, and of course, the place to be. Alright, it's time for us to look through our top stories for today, and Esther is ready with the first story.
That's right. For our first story this morning, we look at why we are spending millions to stop future bandits, and this is coming from Governor Bad, the governor of Enugu State. The story has it that Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mbag could rightly be described as Mr. Project, having distinguished himself in the areas of infrastructure, security, education, agriculture, and technological development. Speaking in Enugu during an interactive session with Renewed Hope Media team, he said that his developmental strides would not have been possible without the support of the President Bola Tinubu-led government. He listed his landmark achievements in the areas of building AI-enabled smart schools and ICT-equipped command security center to comprehensively monitor the entire state, including the forests within the state. When asked about his motives in building the international hospital in his state, he says it would be nice to just make some general reference to illustrate our vision. He says that while they were campaigning for the office, He set out a blueprint for what Enugu should become under his watch. That the blueprint was predicted under 3 factors. One was to grow the economy exponentially from 4.4 billion to $30 billion in 8 years. The second was to eradicate poverty. We inherited poverty headcount of 58%, and we are committed to bringing that number to 0 in 8 years. And then the third was to make Enugu the #1 destination for tourism, living, business, and investment. So if you take the first item here, exponential growth, meaning growing the economy from 1.4 billion to $30 billion. If you look at the capital, it's about 27% confirmed annual growth rate. If you look at the trend and the pattern of growth over the years, it doesn't quite reflect what we are projecting. Therefore, you'll see why some skeptics, naysayers, wouldn't give us a chance, because it wasn't really what we projected. If you look at the historical perspective, you wouldn't be able to make sense of what we are talking about. Chike, what do you think? There's so much here, but I can't read everything. But let's talk about what this headline is all about. It says, while we're spending millions to stop future bandits.
I think what we need to talk about is beyond the headline, actually.
Right? Okay, let's hear it.
But I'm glad the governor is somehow very, very, one thing I like about him is he's a smart man, #1, and then he's a bit realistic with what is obtainable and what has been accomplished. He has a very big vision. I give it to him. I can remember from activities leading to the election in 2023. I was opportunity to be amongst the crew that interviewed him. In fact, we're actually the first set of people he granted that exclusive interview.
Okay.
And I could see in him somebody who actually sat down and postulated his vision for Enugu State. But then the reality later on ground shows that, in as much as the administration might mean well, but the pace or the level at which certain projects are being implemented is just somehow abysmal. For some it's incredibly excellent, beautiful. Whoever calls him Mr. Project is actually not wrong. Yeah, there are so many multiple projects happening in the state, and I believe that it's never the intention of the government. See, I'm not speaking for him, but I know that it's never his intention. Nobody starts something that he doesn't want to finish. It's never his intention to have, certain level of abysmal delivery for some projects, which is an unfortunate development. But I think that if given the opportunity for second term, at least there should be a real concerted effort towards at least finishing what you've started and at least achieving this. Because you won't say the poverty rate in Enugu has reduced. A lot of people are still wallowing.
There's a percentage. Okay, let's just follow
it. But the point is the data. The funny thing about really now data in Nigeria is that
most of the time it doesn't reflect
how
real life.
It's not even about reflection. I'm talking about data. How were those data garnered? How did you gather them? What were the methodologies you used, and how does it reflect the realities on ground? Do you understand? IGR Enugu State we are no longer where we used to be as a state when it comes to internally generated revenue, and of course the visions are there. But what I'm talking about is the implementation strategy, and how all the developmental strategy that has been listed, and then he's trying to achieve. What level of impact is it having on the people, the common person out there in the streets? Because out there in the streets, people are complaining. People are complaining of being heavily taxed. People are complaining of, in fact, the major complaint is the heavy taxation. And then some projects are relatively uncompleted. Some seem so bogus, and it seems like the executors are stuck. So I believe he means well, but then realities on ground is saying something else. But then back to the headline you talked about. The fact remains that while we are spending millions to stop future bandits, of course, stopping banditry. There are basic ways. The core thing to stop banditry, apart from improving insecurity, is improving in education and improving the economy. When people are well educated and when they are gainfully employed, nobody will have time to carry a gun and be kidnapping people. That's the thing. Alright, moving forward on our stories this morning, we have this one: insecurity, APC knocks opposition, rejects Tinubu resignation call. Alright, the story. The story has it that the All Progressives Congress has condemned the African Democratic Congress, People's Democratic Party, Social Democratic Party, Nigeria Democratic Congress, and others for endorsing the House of Representatives Minority Caucus lead or leave call on President Bola Tinubu over worsening insecurity in the country, describing the position as politically motivated and unfair. On Wednesday, the Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives delivered a scathing assessment of the state of the nation, accusing the government of President Tinubu of failing to tackle worsening insecurity, deepening economic hardship, and mounting threats to democratic institutions, while allegedly focusing on political calculations ahead of the 2027 general elections. For over 2 decades, Nigeria, especially the northern region, has been severely affected by insecurity, with groups like Boko Haram, armed bandits, and other criminal networks responsible for thousands of deaths and the displacement of millions of people. While the federal government and security agencies have succeeded in neutralizing, arresting, and prosecuting some of the perpetrators, the menace has continued, with these groups persisting and even extending their operations into parts of southern Nigeria. Addressing journalists at the National Assembly complex in Abuja, Minority Leader of the House, Fred Obedi, said the country was facing one of its most difficult periods since the return to democratic rule in 1999, citing persistent insecurity, rising poverty, and growing public frustrations.
Well, it's really nice to hear. You know, usually many people come out to say, "Oh, he's doing well. Yeah, having so much revenue and all that." But this is one of the few headlines that states people coming out to say, "Oh yes, lead or leave. Or you're not doing enough. You're not doing well." You know what, Chiki? I wanted to ask you what you think about it before I started speaking. So, what do you think about this first?
Obviously, really, the government of the day is actually not doing enough for me. They're not doing enough. In honest assessment, they're not doing enough because insecurity is getting heightened. We are getting more schools attacked. We are getting more brazen attacks, and then we are seeing relative lip service to nipping this to the bud. So it's quite unfortunate. So if they call on the president to resign, of course the ruling party will certainly react, because they will be like, why calling him to resign? The past administration stayed there for 8 years and didn't do nothing. He can't be like time you want. But the point remains that the buck stops at the table of the president, and so far so good. If the president says if these things keeps festering, means that the person who is supposed to be held to account is failing, and of course is this not it? And then there's something about what's happening, because the opposition is saying that instead of facing this head on, they are busy politicking, they are busy strategizing for re-election, which is quite unfortunate, but it's a reality. It's a reality. It didn't start in this administration. So the thing remains that it's not just about condemning it. It's just not about it's about us, because people's lives are at stake. This insecurity is not affecting them. It's affecting the common person out there. People want to live in peace. People want to thrive, not just to survive. So we just want every single thing. We just want the security architecture of this country to either be overhauled, reorganized, and well motivated, and given the task to do the needful.
Moving forward, look at the next story. It says bandits attacks. It says federal government raises 500 billion naira emergency security fund. The story has it that about 500 billion naira was deducted from the Federation Account Allocation Committee revenue for May 2026 to fund a national security emergency intervention. Multiple sources familiar with the development to the Punch. Deduction was made before the monthly revenue sharing exercise among the federal government, states, and local government councils, according to senior officials privy to FAAC proceedings. Confirming the development, one of the sources said FAAC deducted 500 billion naira for National Security Emergency Fund this month. Another official added that the deduction accounted for a significant portion of the gap between the total revenue generated and the amount eventually distributed to the 3 tiers of government. That is where the FAAC windfall is going to, the source said. It further disclosed that the commissioners of finance from the 36 states, who are also members of the FAAC, were aware of the deduction. Commissioners are not talking about it, which means they are in the loop, the official added. However, An official FAAC allocation document obtained on Thursday showed that substantial deductions from Federation revenues were disclosed during the May 2026 FAAC meetings. The document indicated that 250 billion naira was set aside for a military intervention fund, while another 252 billion naira was allocated as an infrastructure development fund to states. It also showed a 450 billion naira deduction to the non-oil excess revenue account, bringing the combined value for three major deductions to 952 billion naira. Chika, what do you think about this story?
No, it's not just about releasing this money, it's about the money not being siphoned or diverted.
Yes.
Because after releasing the money, we just need something significant to happen when it comes to securing this country. We have, in fact, we have one of the worst porous border case in the world. So it's just quite unfortunate that we keep releasing security money, and then it seemed like a drop in the ocean. So money has been released. Let it be judiciously used.
Yes, it's not just period.
Alright, moving forward on our stories this morning. Insecurity governors seek swift establishment of state police. Right, this story has it that the 36 state governors in the country have again thrown their weight behind the immediate establishment of state police to be constitutionally sound and aligned with federalism and citizens' rights. The governors, under the aegis of the Nigerian Governors Forum, also noted the collaborative efforts of other stakeholders, adding that consultation outcomes will strengthen the state's collective position. The governors have also reiterated their commitment to ongoing power sector reforms and to strengthen collaboration among stakeholders to expand access to reliable and affordable electricity for Nigerians. It will be recalled that the House of Representatives on June 11 overwhelmingly voted in favor of a constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police across the country, marking a major step in efforts to address Nigeria's worsening security challenges. Also, the bill scaled second reading in the Senate on the same day. In the House of Representatives, the bill secured the support of 289 of the 290 lawmakers in attendance, while only one member voted against it during plenary. Rising from its second meeting in Abuja from Wednesday to early yesterday, the governors, in a communique by NGF chairman and Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak, disclosed that they received a presentation from the Forum Secretariat and a delegation of the Attorneys General of the states on efforts to support establishing state police in Nigeria. Abdul Razak disclosed that they also received briefings on a range of federal and development partner proposals and results to deepen consultations and coordination between states and national institutions to secure better outcomes for citizens. According to the governors, they noted a dedicated consultation with the state attorneys general to review the proposed constitutional amendments and frameworks.
Well, we've seen, efforts being made in the past to establish state policy, and we cannot understand that. When we have local officers in play, from in a state, we believe that there'll be faster response time, we'll be saying better intelligence gathering and all that. So it's a good one, but then we also see one thing critics are actually fearing is, what if these governments, state governments, what if
they start abusing
That's the
it.
thing. That's one thing about state policy. But we're watching. It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna help us fight terrorism and everything else, banditry and everything else related to insecurity.
Well, the funny thing is, even the normal national police is being abused. So why are we so
So,
afraid of state
of
police
course.
being abused?
Oh, well, I think it's just left for the state governments to make sure that one thing is about being intentional about what you want in your state. So if it is finally been established in states, it has left for the government to choose what they want. And
At the end of the day, what people want is security.
That's
Be
it.
able
That is
to
what we
walk around and not fear of losing your life over rubbish.
About rubbish, indeed. All right, moving forward, we look at the next headline. Says insecurity. Federal government urges media to take terrorists off front pages. The story has it that the federal government has appealed to Nigerian journalists to prioritize national stability and patriotism by keeping activities of terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements off their front pages. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris made the appeal at a two-day national security summit organized by the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Abuja yesterday. The summit, organized in collaboration with the Department of State Services, has as its team media and security agencies as partners in nation building. Idris said, while the federal government under President Bola Tinubu remains fully committed to upholding press freedom, responsible journalism must be exercised to avoid glorifying crime. Yes, we have to do our work. We have to report whatever happens, but you must know that the best reporter, the best editor is the one that knows what not to report in the interest of nation building. Please take these terrorists and criminals off your front pages. This is what they crave for, free of charge. So it saddens my mind when I see our front pages, when I see our headlines reporting the activities of these criminals and underplaying the ones by security agencies. Please spill. There's just so much I have to say. Spill. What do you think about this?
Misplaced priority and misplaced how will I put it? Misplaced focus. Because
I don't
come
understand.
on, your focus should not be. I understand responsible journalism, responsible reportage,
Okay, I think I get
which is quite understandable.
Right.
But then that shouldn't be your concern. Your concern is intensifying effort. Let the intensified effort be so enormous that it cannot be ignored.
And you said something about nation building that it kind of walls the whole process of nation building. I'm trying to understand.
I don't understand his politics actually, so it's just more like deflecting. But when I see people in government talk about nation building, it just seems like the bulk of nation building should be in the hands of citizens. For crying out loud, you're the government, you're the leader, you lead, people follow.
Yes,
For crying out
that's
loud,
it.
you lead, people follow. So I understand what he's trying to say,
Yes,
but
some
the
of the
most
time,
important
yeah.
thing is let the people see that something tangible is being done and is sustained. It's not just you do it today and then the next time we did it, we 5 years after or a few months after, and in between like this there will be a lot of lives that will be lost. Let it be sustained. Let us see that something is being done and there are sustainable actions, and you see everybody will start celebrating it. But you can't say when, in fact, as a matter of fact, insecurity is even highly underreported in the country.
I think
Unfortunately,
it is.
it is.
Yes, it is. Oh well, people, and I also understand about what you said that these bandits they want to be seen, they want to be feared, and sometimes this case of insecurity heightens fear.
They want to be seen, they want to
But
be feared, but the
we-
thing is, government is supposed to have monopoly of violence.
That is
Government
true.
is supposed to be the entity that everybody fears, including criminals. But when the reverse is the case, it's a terrible
we
thing.
see our government negotiating with terrorists, so it's not even something to be surprised of. Oh well. Let's just move forward.
All right, moving forward on our stories this morning, we have this one: xenophobia and no Nigerian willing to leave South Africa will be abandoned. These are coming from the federal government. The federal government says it will ensure that no Nigerian who has indicated interest in leaving South Africa is left behind. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu Ojukwu made the promise in a statement issued by Dr. Magnus Eze, her special assistant on communication and new media, on Thursday in Abuja. Odumegwu Ojukwu disclosed that about 1,000 Nigerians had so far registered for evacuation from South Africa ahead of the June 30 deadline given by anti-immigrant groups in the country. According to her, the first batch of 258 Nigerian nationals has been transported back from South Africa to Nigeria by the federal government. They were received in Nigeria by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Shola Enikanolai. Ambassador Shola Enikanolai at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, on Thursday, June 11. The minister emphasized that the policy of the Renewed Hope administration of President Bola Tinubu was that no Nigerian should be left to suffer unnecessarily at the hands of misguided individuals. She added that the president empathized with Nigerians exposed to discriminatory treatment across the world.
This is a good one. Please bring our people home. If they're not wanted, I mean, they still go where you're wanted. They're calling them back home, even though the whole situation here is not really the best. But I guess it's better to stay in your home, your place, and then try to survive. No, I don't want us to survive. Thrive rather. I mean, I've been watching videos on the internet about the kind of treatment foreigners are getting in South Africa. It's crazy. The beatings, the harassment. Don't even get me started. It's really serious.
The best way to fight xenophobia is to fix your country.
That's just it. Fix your
I'm
country.
not really sympathetic with all these things. See, it's their country. They have to be emotionally attached to their country, and you understand, it's a tribal thing. It's their country, for crying out loud. If they tell you to leave their country, it's not supposed to be. We are talking about Ubuntu, oneness in Africa. But let's still remember that it is their country. If they feel that they don't want it, if you feel not wanted in that country, the point is, let us come back and stick our heads and fight for this country and fix this country. Once we fix this country, there's no point sojourning the whole world.
So our next story, EFCC probes profit over alleged 70.39 million naira fraud. The story has it that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has commenced an investigation into a self-acclaimed prophet, Godwin Sunday, popularly known as Prophet Sunday Koboko, over allegations that he defrauded members of his ministry of 70.39 million naira. The anti-graft agency disclosed this in a statement posted on its official X handle on Wednesday. According to the EFCC, operatives of its Enugu Zonal Directorate are investigating allegations that the suspect obtained money from church members through various schemes and promises of spiritual interventions and investment opportunities. One of the petitioners, identified as Oke Wakwe, alleged that the prophet collected 6.23 million naira from him for spiritual works aimed at persuading his brother, who had lived abroad since 1997, to return to Nigeria. The petitioner further alleged that the suspect received 3.25 million naira to perform spiritual works to help his child and sister-in-law conceive after over 15 years without a child. The FCC said Wakwe also claimed that the cleric announced to members of his ministry that he had won 33 billion naira in the lottery and encouraged them to contribute financially with assurances that they would receive dividends from the purported winnings. You know, when I say I read it, do you notice the gaze do you notice my gaze on you? You know, when I had Koboko, you know, it sticks close, it drives close to me because, I mean, in my area, more people, they attend that ministry.
Oh, you know the man?
I know him now, Koboko. You don't know about him. I had they had to hit Koboko on the floors because the whole spiritual exercise. It's crazy. This is why I agree with the governor of Anambra State, Governor Tuludu, when he said he's fighting down on fake pastors. I feel like every governor should prioritize this because these people are manipulating, should I say, ignorant, vulnerable people just because of their religious influence. And I think they have to leave this to the board, even though those people who are said to be vulnerable. I mean, Chike, I don't know.
Yes, when it comes to all this, I don't like talk because I feel even make you vex.
My God. We need. I keep saying this. We need to stop being gullible. Seriously. You need to know God for yourself because I don't understand how people will be fooled.
Listen, that's why everything still boils down to leadership. Human beings naturally cannot help themselves. So where government comes in, see, I keep saying it. Every single thing boils down to God. Go to Rwanda. Rwanda controls. You can't just open a church. You need to present a certificate, proven certificate, and you have to come and prove yourself that at least you went through certain processes, and that's theology and relatively philosophy. You need to present a certificate that you know what you're doing and know what you're teaching, and then you actually monitor. Government is like a shepherd heading ships, right? The masses are like sheep. I won't say hello. We are just like sheep. So if you do not put in certain frameworks, if you don't put in certain regulatory frameworks and insist on these regulatory frameworks, these things will be festering. In my street, I have up to 5 churches there. Every Sunday they will be making noise. Like I want to run away.
Sometimes you see in one building there's like 4 ministries or churches. It doesn't make sense.
This guy is the one coming into the news, but there are people being scammed every single day. It's just quite unfortunate, and it's not just for the mushroom churches. Even established religions, established denominations, both in the Orthodox and the Pentecostals, we still have these things happening.
But I still maintain the fact that people I think it's lack of.
Sometimes people can't help themselves. That's why education comes in. That's where you step in as government. I don't always like leaving it at the back of the people. That's why government comes in. That's why leadership comes in. You insist this has to happen. Understand? If you don't want to get common sense, you use policy and put common sense in your head.
Common sense, that's right. That you've spoken about, TK.
Alright, moving forward on our stories this morning. Nigeria's 200 trillion naira debt lacks clear impact. That's coming from Peter Obi, who raises concern. The story has it that the 2027 presidential candidate of the Nigeria's Democrat. Okay, the story has it that The 2027 presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Party (NDC), Mr. Peter Obi, has expressed concern over Nigeria's rising debt profile, arguing that the country's growing borrowings have not translated into visible improvements in the lives of ordinary Nigerians. Obi said while borrowing was not inherently wrong, the government must be transparent about the purpose of every loan and demonstrate measurable outcomes from the resources obtained in the name of the people.
Oh, well, I think we've taken something similar to this before, I mean, our rising debts, it's not all about borrowing. Borrowing is not inherently bad, right? For a developing nation, we've been a developing nation for a very long time, but oh well.
Everybody borrows.
Everybody borrows, yeah, but we need to make sure that we are seeing the results on ground.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Exactly. Just be accountable. What are you borrowing for? The ones you borrowed before, what was it used for? Where are we? What's happening to the economy?
Yes.
Transparency and accountability. That's exactly what Peter is calling for.
That's right. And second to last story this morning, we see U.S. lifts naval blockade as Iran's supreme leader says Trump made deal out of desperation. The story has it that the U.S. has dropped its naval blockade of Iran after the two countries signed a deal to end the war in the Middle East. U.S. Central Command confirmed the end of the blockade on X in accordance with the president's direction, and some U.S. vessels would remain in the general area. Soon afterwards, Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei said he had approved the deal with the U.S. despite having a different view without elaborating. He said he allowed it to go ahead after assurances from Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian that he would protect the rights of the Iranian nation. Khamenei said President Trump had, out of desperation, used all kinds of leverage to bring the deal about. The supreme leader said that while there would be in-person negotiations in future between Tehran and Washington, this will not mean acceptance of the enemy's position. And this was the first time Khamenei has responded to the agreement.
All right.
We're just glad that the whole there's finally.
Well, let there be peace. That's the point. Let there be peace, and then anything
and
that
sustain
keeps
peace too. We don't want another conflict to rise again.
it will rise again. That's the thing. But at the end of the day, we just don't want anything disrupting the world economy because there's no way humans will be existing without conflict. He's delusion, thinking that that countries exist without conflict. Just delusional. We'll keep fighting. That's the funny thing about life. Alright, the last but not the least, World Cup ignoring us hurtful. South African captain begs African fans for support. South Africa captain Rowan Williams has appealed to football fans across Africa to rally behind Bafana Bafana at the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup, despite growing resentment over xenophobic attacks against foreign nationals in his country. Williams made the appeal ahead of South Africa's crucial group stage clash against the Czech Republic on Thursday, following widespread hostility from African supporters during Bafana Bafana's opening match against Mexico. Many African fans openly backed Mexico in protest against recent anti-migrant sentiments and the attacks on foreigners in South Africa. Mexico went on to defeat South Africa 2-0, a result that many observers viewed as symbolic of the backlash against the country's handling of migrant issues.
Oh well, that's not even. I mean, I'm not even surprised. Everything that's happened with xenophobia and everything, I'm sure it's going to affect diplomacy across nations. Of course, public perception. Africans are not happy with what is happening. The fact that you're telling your people to leave your place when you're actually being left to, maybe your own people are left to stay comfortable in other people's countries and all that. So, of course, football have this way of overlapping with politics and in relationship between countries. But then, oh well, they lost and many Africans are happy. It's sad, but then they need to know what to do within their country. In fact, every African country, just like Chike said earlier, we need to work on our country so that we can stay in our homes comfortably without having to be driven out. And that's just all I have to say.
Yeah, of course. The point is, even at that, there are better ways to checkmate illegal activities in your country. It's not just about telling everybody to go and go and go. Well, yesterday it was 1-1 draw between Czech Republic and the Bafana Bafana. And yeah, the
Czech
game.
Republic. I thought it was with Mexico.
Mexico was the first match. It was the statement was actually the press conference before their match with Czech Republic yesterday.
Right.
But then I'll still say though, I have no business with other African countries. My business is Nigeria. So the point is, let's fix our country, and then so that people will not stop jabbering. Jabbering is about running away. So let's understand that we have all it takes to make this country work for us. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Friday morning on Good Morning Courses. And of course, this is where we're going to be wrapping it up with our top stories and the show as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Just like Chibi said earlier, it's always a pleasure having you join us on our show. And yes, we usually have a reality check segment. We apologize that we were not bringing it to you today, but next week we're gonna be back full speed with full energy. Okay, so I will see you on Mondays, same time, same station. Keep listening to Go Uni Radio 106.9 FM. And we love you guys. We wish you have a productive day and also a productive weekend. Go out there and crush it. Bye.
All right, until we'll see you same time on Monday, have a very beautiful weekend. And of course, remember Esther Stock and be the best. Bye bye.